Northrup, and I'm here back with the Money Love Story series, and I'm here with my friend Alexandra Jamieson. Hello, Alexandra.
Hello, darling. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me. Alexandra is a healthy living expert and all about holistic eating, and she was part of the film Super Size Me, which was kind of swept the nation. I think you would have had to be living under a rock if you didn't catch at least a whiff of that one. She's also the author of The Great American Detox Diet, and you can find her stuff at alexandradjamieson.com. So thank you for being here. And as part of the book launch, my book launch, which is I'm the author of this book, Money, a Love Story, I've been asking some of my friends to tell their money love stories, because the more we talk about money in a public way, but in a conscious way in public, the more our relationship with money improves. So I'd love to hear from you to get started. What did you learn about money growing up, if anything?
I learned that you had to work really, really, really hard to get any of it.
Okay.
It was money you had to work your tail off to get it. It was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And, my parents were both teachers, and my mom was also an artist. So they work a lot.
Yeah.
Teachers, my dad was an administrator. They worked like 80 hours a week. And there was also a lot of passion behind their work. So I also learned that even though you had to work really hard to get any of it, you could follow your passion and really find your calling to make money.
Cool.
Which I think was I'm so grateful for that lesson at such an early age, that you could go after what you really felt called to do and make a living doing it.
Yeah. Now, and you're making a living doing what you love now.
Yeah.
Was that always the case, or did you start off doing something that you didn't love so much?
Well, I kind of had a roller coaster with it.
Uh-huh.
I've always been able to make enough money. I've always been able to make either just enough or just a little bit more than enough. But I also tried a lot of different avenues in terms of finding a career and a passion that really resonated with me. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple of times when I tried the more corporate route. Now I've been working for myself for over a decade, but I worked in advertising right after college, in media planning, selling bleach and packaged goods. I'm like, I don't even use bleach. Why am I selling this to people?
Right.
So that lasted about a year.
Uh-huh. And
it was, even though it was fun working in advertising because there was some glamour to it, lots of parties and such, I was like, I don't care if I'm making money doing this. It just wasn't what I really felt called to do.
Yeah.
And then later I worked in one of those big deal entertainment law firms. I thought I might want to go back to school and be a lawyer. But again, after about a year of doing that, I was like, this is crazy. Like, if I'm working 14 hours a day, I'd rather be doing something that I truly believe in.
Yeah.
So in between those jobs, I would always find something that was just really fun to do. Mm-hmm. Like working at a secondhand store. I love secondhand stores, and that was so fun. I was making no money, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because it was so fun.
Yeah.
So I've kind of had, lots of different experiments with making money and finding what I liked to do. And finally, the two things came together, and I could make a good living doing what I love to do. But that took a while.
Yeah. How did that come about? Was there like a moment or a shift that allowed you to find that? Or was it sort of from bumbling around?
Well, when, it coincided with my food and health story. So when my health fell apart working in that entertainment law firm, actually, I got really interested in food as a way to heal myself. So then I went back to culinary school, which actually did the reverse to my finances because I had to take out huge loans to go back to school.
Yeah.
Double my student loan baggage. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But then I started working as a private chef. I started doing some catering. And that was, that was really decent money doing what I was really excited about doing. I was working as a private chef for people with cancer and food allergies and who needed special diets.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I'm finally really helping people, doing what I love, and they're paying me well to do it. And that was the very beginning of my career doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I love that. Now, besides finding that it took you a little while to figure out how to combine both having fun and making money at the same time, were there any other challenges along the way that you came up against? Well, there would be the student loan part, I would imagine, is challenging. I know a lot of people who have been in that situation. But anything, that could be it, or anything else?
Well, I think part of my disconnect with money, and this was from an early age, was that I never really understood how it worked. I mean, I had a personal finance class in high school. They taught us how to write a check. Yeah, our high school, everybody had to take it. You learn how to write a check and how to balance your checkbook, that kind of thing. So I knew how to do that, and I never got into debt. I saw friends of mine in college get credit cards, and by the end of college, they would rack up like 10 grand in credit card debt.
Very common story.
On top of student loans. And somehow I managed to avoid that. And I think part of it was because I was in charge of paying for college for myself. So I was deathly afraid of adding any more burden.
Sure.
But I didn't really know how money worked. I was afraid to make big financial decisions. I didn't really watch my money. And I finally, when I started my private cooking practice, I finally read this book called Your Money or Your Life.
That's a great one.
Which is such an amazing book. It really transformed how I felt about money, and I finally started tracking my expenses. Just writing down everything.
Yeah.
And one of the first exercises that they have you do in the book is like, find every penny in your life. Find out how much money you actually have. And it was so funny. Literally, right before you and I got on this call today, I was cleaning out my purse.
Yeah.
Because it is like the depths of despair in there.
I know.
And I took everything out. It was so much stuff. But I went outside to kind of shake it out.
Yeah.
And 2 dimes and a nickel fell out. And I was like, how did those escape my attention? Because I'm usually really careful. I've just become very conscious of where every penny goes. But it's a practice. And I see that as my business gets bigger, as I start employing people on my team, I'm now a small company.
Yep.
I employ a team of people, and I have people doing different things for me at different times. And I've become way more exact with even those dimes and nickels. Where are they?
Right, because if we pay attention when it's small, then we'll have that in place to create that safe container for our money as it grows, right?
Exactly.
I think it's so often this kind of erroneous notion that, pennies and dimes and nickels don't matter, and I'll start paying attention to my money when I'm making millions.
Yes. Yes. So it was really fun for me to go pick up those 3 coins and put them back in my coin purse. And I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to be talking to Kate in like 10 minutes.
I love that. And you did, and you found, and even, even the act of cleaning out your purse is, to me, it's like a spiritual practice of prosperity to get your bills lined up, to make sure, I love that, accounting for every penny that you have, like knowing where it all is and being aware of it from that loving place. That's really great. What other than cleaning out your purse, what other money practices? Do you have any money practices in your life? I know that holistic living is such a huge part of who you are from a food perspective, but I would imagine that seeps out into other areas of your life. So how do you live holistically with your money?
It's so true, that old saying, that old gem, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
So true.
It applies to my diet and my checkbook. And I now have, I'm very, very lucky to have a partner in my life who doesn't get overwhelmed by spreadsheets and budgets. And I tell you what, I think it was about a year, maybe a year and a half into our relationship, we sat down together and we did a budget sheet together. And I was crying at one point. It was so emotional for me. Yeah. And I literally needed him to hold my hand to sit down and make it happen. And it felt so loving. I felt so taken care of.
That's beautiful.
To have someone say, this is okay. It's all going to be okay. We're just getting clear on what's true. So now I have all of my living expenses, my business expenses in Excel spreadsheets. They're all kind of joined together. So what you do on one sheet shows up on another sheet.
Oh my God, you're rocking it.
I know, it's so exciting. I love being a geek. And I have, I've actually, as my business has grown, I've brought on a bookkeeper, and she and I are having regular money dates. I have money dates and life dates with my partner. I have money dates with my bookkeeper. So it's kind of like talking about your diet or talking about sex. It's like the more you talk about it, the less shame there is around it.
That is so true.
And the more comfortable it gets.
Yep. Yeah, amen. It's so amazing. Now, for you as you grow your business and, with growth comes usually more money and then also sometimes more choices. And sometimes growth doesn't mean more money. Anyway, I'm going to say it does in your case. So what's the next frontier for you when it comes to money? Is there a growth edge that you're working on right now? Well,
there have been some really, I don't want to say good or bad, but there have been some very big money things happen in my life really just recently. One is, and I can't go into exact details, but, one is that I have almost signed a deal for my next book. And it's by far the biggest business transaction I've ever had.
I just got chills. That's good.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting to be able to do what you love and to get the feedback from the world that, yes, this is what the world wants from you right now.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
In the same week, I found out that my mom is very sick and that my mom needs a lot of financial support right now. So I was literally in a state of shock for about a week because both of those things happened at the same time. And again, I'm so grateful for my partner. He had such a wonderful perspective on it. He said, some people look at wealth and rich people as people who just accrue a lot of money. But there are other people who see them just as a conduit. They funnel large portions of money back and forth. They don't necessarily keep it. And he's like, maybe this is you just expanding. You're bringing in a lot and you're going to be giving out a lot. And it's just kind of moving back and forth between you or through me. That wealth, that my ability to hold and give and receive is expanding. And that's intense.
Yeah.
It's intense emotionally, which shows up physically, which shows up as, oh my gosh, I need some chocolate and some wine. I mean, let's talk about cravings.
Oh, sure. I know. It's so, as soon as that stress happens, it's like, what can I grab for to feel a little less? Especially when you're expanding in that way, right? Like, it's like, oh my God, this feels scary. I think I might explode. I should have something so that I can feel that a little bit less.
Right.
Yeah. And, and for many people, that is shopping or TV or, as fast food. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. So, I love that you're just, you're sharing what's happening with you. And like you said, when you talk about it, it kind of lightens the load in a way. It doesn't necessarily make it easier, but it does kind of, when you bring it to the light, there's clarity.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I see is that keeping it to myself only adds to the possibility of shame.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I can look at it, take a step back, like, why would I have any shame around any of this? Like getting a great book deal or helping my mom with her finances. Why is any of that a big deal? But when we keep anything secret, that's saying to the world, well, there's something bad about this. I might hurt someone's feelings, or I might make someone else uncomfortable. And that right there, that's shame.
Yeah.
And anytime you can shed some sunlight on whatever's happening with you, whether it's food, money, sex, family, whatever, it's just a lightening of it. It just takes the pressure off.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and where you're at right now with us. I mean, it's just been amazing to know a little bit more about you, and congratulations on everything, and bless you and your mom and your partner. It's just all really wonderful. So if you want to know more about Alexandra, go to alexandrajamieson.com and you can follow her journey on this next big adventure. And if you want to find out more money love stories, go to moneyalovestory.com. And when you purchase your copy of the book, Money, a Love Story, you'll get free access to a 2-hour online event, which is called A Course in Having Enough, which I'm going to be co-teaching with my guest experts, Barbara Stanny, Amanda Steinberg, founder of the dailywork.com, and Marianne Williamson. So you'll want to find that out, moneyalovestory.com. Thank you, Alex. I so appreciate you being here.
My pleasure. Such a gift. Thank you.
Thank you.